Good afternoon, friends, fans, and fam. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am making my way down to Saint Denis. Or at least I'm about to be. We have a judge to go and meet. Where did I put my horse? Oh, right at the end of the road by the sheriff's office. Okay. Back we go. First I just need to see if there's any ammunition in here for sale of the special variety. There is. Okay, is this what I'm looking for? What? You know what? Never mind. There is horse. Freaking black bear, calm down. Poor thing's more scared of you, I'll be honest. Alright, to Saint Denis. Right there first. I'm just organizing my chat windows. Sorry, chat. I want to make sure I can see everybody. Please don't run into anyone. Oh god, oh god. Oh, thank god. I thought we were gonna die. Saw my life flash before my eyes. Dead in Van Horn, chat. Dead in Van freaking Horn. What is happening, TikTok? How are you, by the way? I see quite a lot of you coming and going today. Hey, hey, hey! Oh. The weird thing is, I know it's technically Tuesday, but my Tuesday always feels like a Monday. Because it's the first day of RP, it's the first day of the week where my wife is at the office and baby is at daycare. So, American Monday feels like my Monday too. So I'm here with you all in Monday-itis mode right now. Ah, and I forgot to update the number. It's 88 now, chat. 12 to go. And then we can die peacefully. How does that sound? Twitch, welcome back from the ad break. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? The rifle away. What you want? Hello. Hey Gail, how are you? My day so far has been, you know what, it's been a little stressful, but it's been alright. I'm still waiting for updates on next steps for my medical stuff, so just, yeah, that shit's frustrating as hell. Howdy. You still in there?
Oh yeah. Well,
Okay.
I hope so. This is a courthouse, and if there's no judge during his appointed office hours in the courthouse, then I think he's been kidnapped. I think it's a you issue that it happened.
I would say it's a you issue, seeing as you were standing right here when it happened.
He might have been gone before I got here, and it wouldn't even matter because unless I see it, it's a Warmoyne issue.
Oh, I see. Why
So
are you wearing a hat in the courthouse?
because I'm not in the courtroom or in the judge's chambers.
You
So
are
I'm
indoors in the courthouse. Take your hat off.
but if something happens, I can just run out straight where you have to sit here and fumble for your cowboy
If
hats.
something happens, we don't need our hats. If it is an emergency, we can just
I would
leave.
rather leave my hat behind.
See? Exactly.
Yeah, you would.
She probably doesn't even have a hat on her.
Mine.
Okay, there she does. Wow, it's almost a miracle in and of itself, isn't it? Hi, hi. Howdy.
You're probably going in before he gets mad.
Oh, okay, so he is waiting for me then. Okay, I wasn't sure if you two
Oh
were
no, he's
done.
waiting for both. He's waiting
No,
for
not
both
done.
of
You
you.
can go first.
Oh, okay. Well then.
No, she isn't ready.
I'm doing something.
Okay, sure.
My
Alright.
job.
Howdy, Judge.
Come on, Mr. Sackett.
Howdy. How are we?
I'm quite alright. How are you?
I've been better, but I'm okay.
Like I said, at your best. What can I do for you?
I have here a full pack of coyotes for you. Let me just get these in order. Evans, Calliope, haste warrant. Reformat warrant. There's the first one for you to look at. We'll start with Calliope Evans. I will organize the rest of these for you. Hey, oop. You're in time. You're just in time to find out who gets a warrant. No spoilers, but you all get a warrant. I'm just saying, you all get a warrant today.
But a fair warning, I'm feeling a little bit under the weather today, so if I don't quite hear you when I'm reading, please repeat yourself till I do.
Understood. No worries there, Justice. Sure, it'll be fine. 105. Oh my
The
god.
top of a slight cold day. Piston went off quite close to me when I was walking around the market the other day, so my hearing is a little bit still ringing, if you know what I mean.
is there? You gotta be careful with your ears. Trust me, I know. Plenty of gunfire makes it hard to hear sometimes. Alright, second one's gonna be Elias Morgan. That son of a gun. Third one is gonna be, oh, special guest of the hour, Avery Bryce. Come on down, collect your warrant.
I assume that there will be a warrant for each of these suspects named in this case file. So it would be the same charges,
Yep.
likely same sentence for each of them. That'll make it a little bit easier at least.
Indeed. I also would like to request denial of PTR on all these warrants. These are all very wanted fugitives. They've been arrested multiple times. They have no intention of changing their ways, and it's hard enough capturing them the first time for them to then take PTR as a way of getting free again, and then risking people's lives to catch them all again. In fact, I'm sure all of them currently have active warrants on them. You get denied PTR because I don't want to have to shoot you and then shoot you again. Next week. Damn. What? Also, I'd like to petition for the rest of the coyotes to get nicknames, because I always feel like, why is it only Bill that gets Unlucky Bill as an alias on his files? The rest of you are just first name, last name, or last name, first name. So work on that, would y'all please?
Right, I'm sufficiently happy with this. Would you like me to just start having a look through each of them in turn?
Yeah, may as well. And yeah, I wasn't sure if you heard me about denial of PTR there.
We can discuss that after we've signed each of them in turn. Is that alright?
Yeah, sure. Alright. Well, take it from the top. Start with Evans, shall we? How many warrants do you all have at the moment anyway? Alright, let's start with Avery Bryce. Search. Bryce. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4! What the fuck? Bryce has 4. Sweet. Jesse has 1. Active 1. For something. Honestly deserved. It's like oh god, I think I'm just doing a bunch for all of you, and Rach is doing a, like, Posey is doing a bunch for all of you as well. Okay, Bryce is about to have 5 active warrants. Elias has 1 active, 1 request, probably another request about to go in. Bill has... Fuck. Oh my god. Bill! Jesus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as well. About to be live for Bill. They're all deserved. No, there is no probably about it. You're naughty, and you're going to prison. Meet you at the bell tower. Wait for the bells to strike, and then we shoot.
$5 is in order there. Next up we have Bryce.
I'm well aware that the evidence might not be the strongest for Bryce, but she already has an active warrant based on that evidence in a similar case, and she's a known associate of this group. So when we're looking
Which is sufficient for myself.
Alright.
Right, now we are looking at Foster.
Unlucky Bill himself. Send it to the island and lock away the key for a hooligan like Bryce,
It's
right?
very kind of him to engrave his boots.
And to...
Very common process among miners.
Yeah, okay. So you can identify the bodies?
Pretty common all around, to be fair, but mostly among, you know, the more dangerous of occupations.
That makes sense. Also very kind of him to be so interested in promoting his local business that he just drops his posters everywhere.
Very much so. Him and Mr. Morgan must have a very lucrative stake in a printing company.
Mm-hmm. I'm starting to wonder if they've actually stolen the printing press and we just haven't figured out where from yet. But hey, I get it. Tumbleweed's a hard place to be a businessman. You love that idea, right? I actually think it could make for a fun Saint-Denis crime as well, that the newspaper gets robbed and all that's stolen is like a bunch of ink,
Right, and
And some-
finally we have a suite.
some printing press like letterings or something. Don't tempt us with a good time. Also, another one where the evidence is flimsy in some regards, but given his association and the numbers of outlaws that the coach company say was there, it's really just a process of elimination that was Sweet behind that mask.
And if I do, in fact, remember, there has been a colleague that has signed a warrant for Mr. Sweet on similar evidence, so I'm content. Right,
Alright.
onto the subject of denying trial release.
Yes, sir. Now, specifically for Bryce and Sweet, I have personally had a conversation with them where they are refusing to go to Sisika. They will fight to the death, essentially, they said, rather than go to Sisika. And I think that would include them, if caught, doing a stupid stunt like requesting PTR with no intent to actually turn up to trial just so they could delay the inevitable for a little bit longer.
And if they do not want to go to Sisika, maybe they should refuse doing crimes.
No. Don't be so logical. I tried suggesting that to them, that, you know, Jesse has a nice little business out there in Thieves Landing running that bar. He doesn't need to commit crime anymore. Maybe you should mind your fucking business. You
So
weren't
I'm
there,
aware
Your
that
Honor.
Miss Stewart Langston is also outside with business for us. If
Oh, yeah.
If she has warrants for the same group, maybe we should discuss the pre-trial release revocation together.
I
but now,
believe she probably
if
does.
she does not,
so.
Then we can come back and discuss it for the
Alright.
signing of them.
Alright,
but
shall I go
Just to
ask
make
her?
sure that we're not... Why not? If we are done with our business, otherwise...
Yeah,
we can
first
see what she wants,
signed.
yes.
Yeah, I'll go see. Thank you, Justice. Hey, Posey, are you doing coyote warrants too?
Mm-hmm.
Alright,
Yes.
I'm suggesting revoking PTR. Justice wants to talk about it, seeing as you're doing them as well. We may as well talk about it together.
Sure. Langston, do you want to come in on this?
Langston having opinions on coyotes? No way.
Yeah, who would have thought?
Can I walk in to say every Bryce has killed 50 people?
Yeah,
And then
honestly, you
that's
Is
can.
that the
we-
number? Fuck.
She's got 40. She got 40 with the robberies, and then by now she's probably got about 10 or so more. She might be closer to 60, honestly.
Jesus.
Howdy, Judge.
Fuck.
Good day.
I got Stuart Langston's for you. 2 of them even. One with warrants and one with opinions.
Mm-hmm. Well, we both have opinions.
Okay, but only one of them has warrants.
I have one for William Foster,
And they call
one
Elias.
for Avery Bryce, one for Elias Morgan, and one for Calliope Evans.
Just him with the coyotes.
Right,
Yeah,
take a
but
seat at your behest then.
Elias
Mr.
enjoys
Sackett, we
it.
can
That's the problem.
discuss after these have been signed between the three of us.
Alright. God forbid a girl start in the deep end.
I
Hobby.
almost forgot. Do each of you care for a muffin?
I would love a muffin. Thank you.
Sorry about the horsehairs. It's molten season. And I did write these on the back of a horse.
He doesn't mean to kill them. Oh.
I've often found my own hairs of my
Well,
own horse. In
That's why
my
it's
head,
second-degree
amongst other
murders,
things, so I
not
quite,
first-degree.
understand. Who would you like me to have a look at first?
Elias over there, though, he's got first degrees.
God, it is almost as if I read this
My
description
sound?
5 minutes ago.
Yeah,
Let's
but
have a look at this case file.
What was
I
he
like
gonna
to
look
keep
up?
his description pretty simple. As he is a simple man.
Simple man.
A purple clad simple man.
Alright, Bryce, here we go. $140 plus $300 plus $400 plus $200 plus $420. Jesus, Bryce. You was going away, girl. You was going away for a long, long time. $1,460 plus whatever damage you do in the arrest.
Alright, and then this is Avery Bryce's. Same case, same situation.
Same sentences as well, across the board.
Yeah, across the board. Yep, they all have records as long as the day is. Is that how that saying goes?
I was gonna say, I don't know, but
No.
I feel like Jesse Sweet's record would give the day a run for its money, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Avery Bryce and her 50 murders.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got Elias Morgan.
Oop! Another one for Elias! Listen, once you're done watching, y'all are gonna have to log
Which, if I could
in
say
so we
something
can come and do
crass.
some work.
At what
fi-
point is that man done? You know what I'm saying?
It's not 50, it's currently 34.
34.
According to warrants. Warrants, though. Oh, and Jesse's at 32 arrests total, 18 federal.
Well, Richard
That is
Garland
for
is
you to-
still winning.
That is for you to propose towards us, not the other way around. So it is really at your best when you decide enough is enough.
Honestly, I'm kind of just waiting for the moment Jesse Sweet commits a misdemeanor, and then we just slap him with a life sentence for recidivism.
This Elias Morgan one, evidence is, well, there's not much evidence against him, but the evidence is his calling card. So
Not do your job for you, but in the warrant I just signed for Mr. Secretary, does his description also not say he has an accent? And then you have
yes,
the witness statement
yeah,
from your case
stating that
file to say
one
that
of
one
them
of the
has an
males had an
accent.
accent as well. And I'm
Yeah.
assuming based on the fact that where we are, they are not referring to a United States accent.
lots of people got accents, but this is our dead-on evidence. But I agree, I do agree that is also evidence pointing to Mr. Morgan.
I had to buy a baseball the other day, chat, while we're waiting here.
I would
You
make
don't
sure
know
that
how
it is
hard
not
it
dated there
is
somewhere.
to buy a baseball in New
Alright, let me
Zealand.
make that happen.
These things are not sold everywhere. Elias is pure Texan. Mm-hmm. Texas, Zealand. They had one left at Rebel Sport in all of Wellington. One. And it wasn't even the first Rebel Sport that I rang. I had to ring several Rebel
And Cal.
Sports to find a baseball. I needed it for a content thing. Someone was asking me to shoot a video with a baseball doing a thing. And I literally... Like, I tried a local sporting goods. They didn't have it. I went to Rebel... Like, one of the big Rebel Sports. They didn't have one. They were like, here in the city is the last one available. Meanwhile, you could probably pick one up at a gas station in America or Japan. I wondered
Right, so
about
is
the
that all of,
warehouse, but
is that all of them?
it's such a rare thing.
That is all of them.
I just don't know.
I would
Right,
also
then that-
like to revoke PTR if possible.
That was the topic at next hand. I was going to discuss it between all of us, given that does not, I do not necessarily have to sign it for all of yours if you do not want it, if he did. But it is something that we could have brought up if you did not need the discussion. If you do not, then we can, you can, you can convince me why these should be revoked between the pair of you.
I feel like Langston summarized it quite nicely before when he mentioned Avery Bryce having 50 murders on her sheet.
Yeah.
34,
Oh,
according to warrants.
34. Okay.
According to warrants, there might be more in arrest files that were either confessed to or bounties, but 34 is the official number according to our federal warrants. Jesse Sweet's been arrested 32 times in total. 18 of those were federal. That is accurate as of 2 days ago.
25 of those were probably wrong.
Elias Morgan has history of not setting up court dates. That's really the best way to say it.
Committing fraud.
He's also,
basically
he's also a
lying.
parolee from multiple first-degree murders and has gone on to commit more second-degree murders after his release. Well, specifically waiting for his parole period to be up and then committing. I think it was a day or two
after. I think it was the day of.
I'm pretty
if I
sure he
remember
broke
correctly.
into my house the night of his parole ending. Probably within the hour of it ending.
Yes, that is my understanding. And then
He was good
Cal
for
Evans
2 weeks.
has
So,
a record like
rude.
probably just as impressive as Jesse's, and then Bill's is just as impressive as Avery's.
And we know that they will also go out and fight for each other's freedom. If one of them's caught, if you are facing the capture of one, you're going to be facing down many of them by the time you get to the docks, as my poor former boss Marlowe found out.
You basically have to race them to the docks, because if they catch you on the way there, they're gonna shoot you.
Essentially, the risk to the lives of civilians and marshals by them getting an opportunity to be out on parole rather than serving their sentences, or on PTR rather than serving their sentences, is that we're going to have to take twice the risk for it all, and chances of more people dying because of that are very high.
They've almost exclusively committed escaping custody in almost every federal arrest they've had. And the group, if not every individual in the group, but at least some of them have at least been implicated in the murder of at least 2 marshals. Might be more.
The recent deaths have been really... I didn't see any of them coming. Woods, I kind of imagined could happen, but I did not see Frost or Marlowe coming. They were very out of left field. Justice is having some hearing issues on account of a piston exploding near him recently.
Was walking through the market when they were doing some maintenance when somebody clearly did something they should not have. My right there has been ringing for a couple of days now.
Percussive maintenance, I guess. Oh, and that's not to mention, as I was saying to the judge before, both Sweet and Bryce have said they'd rather die for each other than go back to Siska.
Mm-hmm.
Does that suit the purpose?
Suits me just fine. Thank you, Judge.
Looks good to
That
me.
will be annotated to each of the warrants you've both presented to me and will be sent along with notes to each office by the clerks as soon as we leave the offices.
Perfect.
Sounds good. Oh yeah,
Damn good muffins,
100%.
by the way, Judge. Oh. Shit. Oh. Sorry. Oh. You know, I feel like... Oh, no, I've probably been cussing this whole time, haven't I?
Mm-hmm.
You can make a donation to the Saint Denis Soup Kitchen at your behest.
I tend to.
There you
Cuss
go.
or make
Don't lie to a
donations.
justice.
I gave them a whole fuck ton of bread, let me tell you.
Mm-hmm.
You
I
bet
made
you
Okay,
did.
we
so
were
much bread. No, I'm
hyperbolizing
a
a
great
little.
cook. I
Jesse
made so
didn't
much
say he'd
bread.
die. He said he'd
Heavens
lose an
fucker.
eye.
Let me fucking
Thank
eat
you,
it.
Justice.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, let me know if you know anything about divorces.
I would be happy to help you, Miss Stewart Langston.
I don't think your husband heard you.
Yeah,
That was a
repeat
joke
it.
for me anyway.
I enjoyed it.
Thought it was funny. Judge thought it was funny.
Mm-hmm.
What do you say?
Judge is gonna send me some information on divorces.
But that would be such a far cry from you. You didn't say that. You told me you left in the dead of the night, and then Larry went and did that to you.
Well, yeah, and then I did the paperwork and got divorced. It's not like I'm just still married.
Well, that would be illegal.
What? Are you forgetting the great state we're in?
No, because
To
Dumont
get
told
married
me I
and
had
get
to do
married
the
again?
paperwork.
That would be illegal, surely.
Dumont said,
more,
"No,
Moy.
Posey, you have to actually get divorced if you want to be divorced."
No one tell Butcher Creek.
Okay, well, yeah. Listen. That's less of a family tree, more of a circle out there, so... I don't think they count.
Family sphere.
I need to go and see if we've got any ammunition in the goddamn storage, because I used all mine on Richard Garland the other night.
Funny you mention him.
Wait,
Quiz.
where is he? Where
Oh,
is...
Richard was last seen just like the other side of the real estate booth.
What the Let me get some bullets. I need to shoot him. Yes, I did use almost 100 rounds of ammunition shooting at Richard the other night. Actually, it was closer to 200 because it was 100 in each revolver. Was it fun? Was it worth it?
What kind are you looking for? Do you find any?
Yeah, there's plenty in the second box.
Oh, perfect. I'm gonna go find a spot to sit up high and watch. You're in charge, by the way. You and Langston.
Why am I in charge of Langston? He's your problem, surely. Alright, which way?
Oh, they just said he was on the other side of this building. Beyond that, it's all you.
Oh, okay, hang on, let me take a look then.
Let's say he's moved.
Nope, unless he took steps to come closer to us. Keep an eye out for a white Arabian.
You got a new horse. It's
yeah,
right there.
That's Buffalo. Howdy.
Howdy.
Are you boss?
Yeah.
We are just going out to look for Richard Garland. That's his white horse right there. So he's somewhere in the vicinity. He has a $400 bounty, and he's an asshole.
Well, I'm sure he's right over there picking pockets.
Yeah, I'm figuring you're right.
I know I like.
You know, he threw a deadly carrot at me the other night. In a mine shaft.
That's so like him. Honestly, you get hit by a carrot, you gotta think maybe the problem is me.
Well, then I'm pretty sure JY.
Did he run?
I'm pretty
Is
sure.
Valentine helping or Valentine just being
I don't know what Valentine's doing.
Your recruit's here if you wanna get a blooded.
Oh, hey. Hey, Delphine.
Hello.
Howdy. You busy?
I actually just telegrammed you the same thing.
Oh, okay then. Well, the answer is I'm not too busy.
That's good.
If you'd like to join us, we are currently hunting Richard Garland for a $400 bounty.
Right. Let me just go grab some food from the restaurant, and I'll join you
Alright.
right back here.
Pop over to SDPD and grab a copy of the poster. That way,
I mean,
even
you
if
can
I
just show her
deputize you,
yours.
you can just catch him yourself anyway.
Right.
And get paid.
You could just show her yours, the one you.
Oh. I see what you mean.
Yeah, I didn't because I'm selfish. I didn't show you mine because I'm selfish.
You're an ass, that's why.
Mm-hmm. So I think I stay back and let you and
Richard.
Stannard deal with it.
Oh, thanks.
Check the horse. He might have. Richie doesn't want to just run.
No, if he can piss
He
you
waits to
off
get told.
first.
Yeah, he wants to get told. 'Cause I think Posey would come running up here, be like, he's gone, he's gone.
Yeah, well, we were fighting in the mines of Annesburg, and pretty sure I hit the deck when JY almost took my head off. The fresh scar across my cheek from bullet number 88 was not fired by Richard Garland.
Have you considered ducking?
I want
He...
the fucking
okay.
horse is gone.
Yeah. To Valentine's Day.
What?
He doesn't know. Valentine was probably chasing Richard then when she went galloping around the corner.
Wait, you didn't see who took the horse?
Listen, Tyrell.
Wait, you was standing right here.
Didn't see a damn thing.
Can I recommend you lay off the drugs just for like work hours, maybe? God damn it, Posey. We'll just leave you here then, shall we? Well, Posey's observation skills are on point.
For Posey? Absolutely.
Won't go too
I mean,
far
we should
yet. I'll
probably
let Delphine
Yeah.
catch up.
I was gonna say, go for Delphine, then, I don't know, we face in the rough direction. She hit the corner and went left.
Toward the bridge?
Yeah. Or the mansion. It's Richard's. It could be either.
I didn't see... Well, I guess the Arabian's kind of short. Maybe we wouldn't have seen it.
I think we were in the middle of the park or behind the statue.
Yeah, maybe.
Because, I don't know. Maybe he winked away in the other direction. It's kind of, I'm guessing based off the fact that Valentine was cantering, whereas she was walking. Is that standard? That's standard.
Yep.
A white Arabian named Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go grab that poster.
Wait, here they come.
Here he is.
Hi, Richard.
Yes, hello.
Richard, that's not towards the SDPD.
Right, it is this way.
Oh, so he's under arrest?
I'm trying to see what he's attempting to do, currently.
Run, probably. Yep, he ain't slowing down for her. Well, Valentine's already decided she's in hot pursuit.
I was going to say, I suppose that's him. He ran into my horse. So,
Yeah. Well, three of
there
us
he goes
is
again.
a little
Oh my god, there are so many people in the way.
Oh, that'll
There
do
he
it.
goes.
Hi, Richard.
Well, that's what you get for galloping in the city.
What a wonderful way to be introduced to someone.
Yeah.
Yes, hello, my name is Richard Cullen.
How are you feeling, Richard?
Like I ran into my arch rival,
Hi,
Put the bump on
Richard.
the put the
Miss
bump on the
you.
head then.
the arch nemesis. And
Oh,
I
you
just
hold the
ran
arch
into-
nemesis title.
Hi, Richard.
I
Miss
think
you.
it's me he's talking about.
And whoever that random lady was. Hello, random lady. Not you, Posey, the other random lady.
Oh, I do believe you'll get to know her quite well as well.
What do you mean? Metal!
I wouldn't want to spoil the surprise now.
God. Well,
Sit that in there, Richard. I'll get all this sorted in a minute.
I think you got off easy, Richard.
I have a question.
What is your question?
Once I am able to pick myself back onto my feet, can someone look at my boo-boos?
Well, what's your boo-boos?
Yeah,
Something
Posey
that
will
needs to be
cauterize him.
colorized.
Damn it, then I'm out.
I require. Holy shit! I still have my guns.
Oh no. Oh fuck.
Hang
Turn around.
Richard.
on, hang on. Alright. Just the guns, please. It's not like anything in there is gonna be useful without the guns.
Nope.
Yes, well, I do believe that would be a mistake from not being in the States the past few weeks a bit.
Question: how much do I get for being the
I
wolf?
bet you don't even have
Yeah.
the space for all my ammunition.
What
am I-
the fuck, Richard?
Oh, I could use some of that. You owe me a lot of bullets anyway.
You
the
purchased them
fuck?
to use them, so you finally used them.
Yeah, Richard's got a point.
Richard, what's in your box?
Well, not more ammunition, a couple of knives.
That's still not okay.
Yes, but I'm saying there's not more ammo in the box.
Do you need me to finish searching him, Posey?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
What?
Well, you thought I was kidding?
Can't believe you're digging into my rainy day fund.
300
proposing to two people?
rounds of repeater cartridges, Richard.
You know what? I had a goddamn plan.
Richard, are you proposing to two people and then sending just them to Gorma?
Where's
What do you mean?
You have 2 diamond rings and 2 tickets to Gorma.
I see. No comment.
You want me to wet standard in?
Yes, please.
It appears that you could have let
Jesus.
yourself in. given how that
300
went.
rounds of repeater and 200 and something of... Jesus Christ, Richard.
May I have pain medication?
You think this office is crowded? Wait till you see the other ones.
That seems like a thinly veiled threat.
What are these
Yes,
rusty
we're gonna
old keys
arrest you
for,
and take you
Richard?
to every.
Honestly, not entirely sure.
Right.
I'm thinking maybe they lead to some treasure.
Okay, well... Jesus.
Yeah, there's a lockbox at the bottom of Lake Flatiron that those keys open. I got told that by a traveling
That's
wise
yours.
man.
I see. I'm still waiting for that pain medication.
I don't know. I don't feel like giving you any. You threw a fucking carrot at me that hurt.
Would you rather have me throw, I don't know, a rock?
I'll give you marijuana. I didn't hear a no.
Sorry, what was the
Here
question?
is some pills, Richard.
I see. And I eat these and I chew them, right?
No, you swallow them whole, I think.
Can't imagine chewing them would taste very nice.
Could I get a little bit more to go? I mean,
The drugs or the proper drugs?
the the, the drugs. No, wait. The prepper drugs. I did just realize your question. She hasn't given me anything.
I'm willing to give you drugs if you want them.
No, thank you.
Mm-hmm. I am out of matches though, but I did notice you have some matches.
Wait, did you take my matches?
No, I really thought about it. I'll be honest, but that's theft.
Richard, how much money do you have on you?
I have $4.28.
Oh, well, that is nowhere near $500.
No. Wait, $500.
He also
I mean, that is near the maximum. I wasn't gonna say that you would have to go near that amount, but still, it's nowhere near the hundreds of dollars you would have to pay in fines for
So,
pickpocketing near
Richard's trying to
35
buy
people.
himself a home.
but before you get too nitty gritty with the math there, I think Tyrell should tell you something about our encounter the other night.
Yeah, he needs an escape in custody charge added to whatever the fuck you're charging him with, cause that
Twice.
bastard ran.
Twice.
Yeah. Yep, twice.
For this situation.
Does he usually
over
just
this
admit to
mountain,
it like
yes.
that?
And he shot me. I'm pretty sure he also
Twice.
shot
Yeah, I love
JY
Richard.
twice.
Richard and I are best friends, right, Richard?
He technically also was around the
sure.
murder, so.
I helped him with
He-
his buttholes.
2
He also kicked me in the shin. once.
maximum aggravated assault charges. Although I feel
I
like
was
the
more
carrot
talking about
was attempted murder.
I was more talking about the fact that apparently 5 of those pickpocketings are actually robberies or something.
Oh, and that, yeah. 5 of them he confessed to actually putting a hand on his gun and threatening people if they didn't give him what was in his pockets.
Wait, it's hello, new lady. I am Richard Garland. I mean, not other new lady with no Valentine, but new lady with the beige. My name is Richard Garland.
You'll be
So I
seeing a
gather-
lot of Richard Garland.
Richard Nathaniel Reginald Garland. Sometimes I will go by Nathaniel Reginald. What do you mean? I have infamy. Yes. Yes. No, this is the best day ever. The what? Goodbye. I would like to see this new alias.
I mean,
I
you
thought
can
last
ask
time we
Tyrell
came up
and
with a
right
new
there.
alias.
We did, but he keeps changing color schemes. So Tyrell was like, let's just call him the short criminal from Rochester.
I was what now?
Oh yeah, you've changed Richard's alias to the short criminal from Rochester.
I've
I think he's
changed
incensed about it.
Richard's alias, have I?
Mm-hmm.
By the way, new lady who I don't think you've introduced yourself to me yet. What do you do? Would you like to do crime?
Yes, would you like to do crime, Delphine?
Are you planning to rob a bank, Richard?
Why?
Because if you say yes and then she says yes, then that's conspiracy in the commission of a serious felony.
Alrighty.
We get 2 arrests. That way.
Langston,
Right.
Posey,
Indeed.
are you both able to handle Mr. Garland here?
Does
Uh,
that
so
mean I
General
get-
or right now?
I mean, right now, can you handle his processing and sending him to Sisika?
Jessica, for pickpocketing.
Well, don't
Yeah.
do it 35 fucking times then, Richard.
Oh,
Well, unless you
shit.
want Delphine to see it.
And 5 robberies and 2 aggravated assaults against law.
I have heard about the boat.
There's also that
Well,
coach out in West Elizabeth if you fancy confessing.
Get it, Warren.
Yeah, I figured you'd say that. I'm just putting it on the table that you could confess and save us all the time.
Richard came to my wedding.
Yes.
What did he wear? This?
Oh, he looked cute. No, he was dressed in red.
I see.
I had a
dressed in
blue outfit. What are
blue.
you talking about?
No, he did. He did. He did have a blue outfit.
The Blue Buffoon.
I'm sorry. He did. He wore a beautiful blue outfit.
Yes.
anyways, Delphine will have plenty of time to see Siska another time, I'm certain. We have other matters to attend to.
I knew it. You are a criminal. You're being arrested.
That's news to me.
That's awkward.
That
isn't
is
it? It's always an
definitely
awful
not what
way
is
to find
happening.
out.
Okay.
It's
So
either
30
Mhm.
pickpocketings, 5 robberies, 2 aggravated assaults against score, correct?
technically 3, because it was Tyrell on 2 separate occasions.
Yeah,
I don't know how you
So
want to
3.
talk. I don't know how you want to deal with it because it was 2 separate occasions on the same night within an hour of each other.
No, I'm gonna count that as 2.
Yeah, I still say the carrot might have been attempted murder, honestly.
Are you allergic to carrots?
No, he wanted to kill me with it, though.
How do you...
No, the carrot is just my
Sharpened
Look,
There are
no
many
one,
ways to kill
no
a man
one
with a
expects
carrot.
food to be flying in their direction.
Perhaps he thought you needed a snack.
Yes, you should have cut it in your teeth.
Jesus.
460,
My bad.
490. Fantastic.
460 days and $490.
Sometimes I catch flying
Mhm.
shit in my mouth.
They cannot
as
pay
like
that.
a trick.
Wait a
Okay.
minute. I just realized.
Hmm? I hate when he says he just realized something. That's never a good sign.
I said the moral level, no, but the voice. What? So you?
He
No,
just
I'm
fucking
not.
take.
I'm not taking
Are you-
PTR.
are you
No,
gonna
I'm not
take
good. I'm not gonna take it. Let's go.
Oh, did you just offer
He has
people-
reconsidered taking PTR.
You don't think he's gonna try and run?
I suppose that would be Langston's problem.
I'm going with him.
Wait, where's my horse?
Technically, still Langston's
both called
problem.
Langston.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say, my point stands.
Yeah.
Also, wait, who gets the payout for this bounty?
We're
Look.
splitting it 5 ways.
Yeah, right.
So I'm guessing he's always that boisterous.
Mm-hmm. Usually it involves gunfire. It would have if he hadn't crashed so badly.
I can imagine that, yes.
What's your passport, boss? You dragged him in here. You get the payout and decide how you're splitting it.
Six eight oh two.
I'm sorry, gonna have to say that again.
6802.
There you go. We got Richard. Good start to the day. Oh, thank you.
I'll give the other two their hails so they get there. Well, alright. Miss Delphine.
Hmm.
How have you enjoyed your time getting to know the Lemoyne Marshal Service
The
been
telegrams
well
were
so
right
far.
there.
and the Marshal
And,
Service
Is
as
there
a
an
whole?
emote actually where you can just
I
be
will say
dancing
that,
and
we
walking
spent
at
more
the
time in
same
West
time?
Elizabeth the other day, helping. What was her name? Ty? I've forgotten. Ms. Young.
Yeah, Jeffrey
believe.
Young. Mostly goes by JY.
I see. Helping JY with something that she had discovered, but that was quite interesting. Outside of that, I've enjoyed getting to know people. So
Which one? Which one are you calling a villain?
But are you still interested in pursuing your job with the U.S. Marshals then?
absolutely, if you're willing to offer it.
Fantastic. Me and Tyrell here in Lemoyne will be offering you the position of Deputy Marshal here in Lemoyne.
That is very kind.
With that, the process requires 1 month as a PDM, probationary deputy marshal.
Hmm.
During this probationary period, you'll be going on one ride along a week where we will be training you, teaching you what you need to know.
Excellent.
You will get homework each week to be completed by the next week. It's fairly simple, just making sure that you understand the material of each week and how operating as a marshal works.
Of course. Honestly, I look forward to it. So
Fantastic.
outside of that, is there anything else I should be expecting in the process, or even at the end?
Well, by the end, you will be able to operate as a full marshal. During the month, you will have some restrictions placed upon you and what you can do.
Understandably.
The main thing is that you are not allowed to investigate, work any cases, unless it is stated by me and Tyrell that you are working a case for your probationary period. Otherwise, you are not to be investigating anything as well. You are not allowed to arrest anyone for a warrant. The only way that you are allowed to arrest someone is if you have witnessed them committing the crime.
I see.
As well, to be able to act on anything, you will need to be accompanied by another deputy marshal. When you are running in a policy with other deputy marshals, you are able to act as they can, essentially. And then once your PDM phase is over, you will be able to act fully unrestricted.
Good to know.
That will happen by your 4th week, once you have been given your test. Which you will have a test on your 4th week. That is your final thing. You're given as many tries of the test as you want until you pass it.
Then I'm sure I have nothing to worry about.
Fantastic. Hello there, Chief.
me just.
really quiet.
Well, I did say hello. I was waiting for you to say something. Now, there is some things that I need so that we can get you keys and whatnot.
Of course.
I just need your PO and your passport. Actually, if you just hand me your ID, it'll actually be much easier.
That's fine. I can do that.
Yay! Marshall Seth! Marshall Seth! So fun.
Oh, wow.
I think one of the cool things about Saf becoming a marshal is they already have a deep
Okay.
understanding of
Hopefully I
TRP
shouldn't
law,
forget any of that.
having been an AUSA for so long and like one of our only government lawyers.
So where to from here?
And they've signed a lot of warrants in the past, or at least brought a lot of warrants to judges to then get signed. So I think it's going to be really cool seeing this character now apply those laws.
You gonna tell her where we're going first?
Nope, that's me. Yes, indeed. We're going to take a little ride up to Fort Wallace, where you had your interview done.
Right, yes.
Consider this day one. Welcome to the team.
Thank you. Oh, good lord.
Yes. You'll need to get acquainted with all those keys. It's for the various sheriff's offices around 5 states.
Sheriff's
SDPD
Office,
for the forts,
SDPD,
your handcuff
forts,
keys.
Fort Taylor.
I suggest putting the handcuff keys on a
Armory.
separate little area.
I can only imagine how long it's going to take me to flick through these, trying to find a single sheriff's office key, but I
Yeah.
suppose that's all part of the fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Indeed. All right.
Wonderful.
Let's not keep the boss waiting. Grab your horse
Indeed.
and
Onwards.
let's head out.
Where the fuck did my horse go? Ah, yes.
Where's the best place around the States to find sugar cubes that's not usually unstocked? I feel like I've looked at so many places recently and they just don't have anything.
Probably because Posey's buying them all, honestly.
I see. Right.
Damn it.
So I should
speaking
go
of,
find Posey.
Yeah, she wanted to join us for this. I completely forgot.
Alright, we're going for slope.
So, Dumont,
Yeah.
where were you before you were here?
Fort Wallace, unless you meant before I worked here.
Yes, that is indeed what I meant.
Georgia.
Were you there for a long time?
Most of my career. I moved out this way when the position opened for an assistant chief. And then regrettably, the chief happened to die in the line of duty. So, here we are.
Sorry for your loss.
Sadly, it can be part of the job.
Yeah, he gets promoted when his boss dies, but does Ty? No. No, he doesn't. I'm joking. It's funny. Sorry. Excuse me, horse. What? No way. He needs needs more power. Got to 88 the other night. Thanks to Richard Garland, but so I'm pretty sure that was JY's doing.
When you say her doing, what do you mean?
Richard was throwing piercing carrots in my direction. So I ducked. We were trapped in a mine with Richard Garland shooting a lot of bullets at us, and I ducked out of the way of his sharp carrot. I didn't realize JY had come up behind me, and I turned and damn near got my head blown off by JY.
Good lord.
Trying to evade vegetable attacks.
He seems like the sort of man who would use anything as a weapon if he could.
Yeah, that's what I was slightly worried when Langston was taking him out to the docks and didn't put him in handcuffs first. Probably just try and pull Langston's hat down over his eyes and then choke him to death with his own bandana.
Do you know anything about him, or why he is the way that he is? Or is he sort of just an enigma?
I believe he read too many dime novels and decided that he found his calling in being the villain. I believe he came to the 5 states in the employ of a baron looking to buy Emerald Ranch, maybe?
Right.
But then when that fell through and he got himself a criminal record, he just thought, you know what, I'm just gonna lean in on this. He's had a few bumps to the head though, where occasionally he forgets that he is one of the 5 states' most villainous villains.
That's a
And
cause for concern. But
goes back to the time when he thought he was in the employ of the Baron. But then inevitably something else happens and he gets hit in the head again and it all comes flooding back and he makes terrible choices. He will, however, confess to you that he is making terrible choices. He knows
right.
that he is his own worst enemy. In fact,
Fully aware.
I've even heard him talk himself into more charges by trying to correct the person arresting him. As you saw today.
I was going to say he seems awfully willing to talk about his own charges.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever find out what happened? I suppose I'm not allowed to ask this, but I'm going to try anyway. Did you ever find out what happened to the other two candidates? Did they get any further? They seemed very interesting.
As far as I'm aware, nobody has offered them jobs.
One of
Or
them
ride-alongs.
asked some very strange questions.
Yeah.
The other one was sort of just babbling. Couldn't really.
I don't
understand
even
what
know
he was
which
trying
is
to get
which at
across.
this point, but I'm gonna guess the one babbling was the one from Butcher's Creek.
No, it was actually the one with the long blonde beard.
Oh, he was the babbler, and the other one was asking strange questions. Okay.
No, I suppose he was asking strange questions. I suppose they both were asking strange questions, but the one from Butcher Creek definitely just babbled. I feel like he was just looking for a listening ear. The one with the big long beard, he seemed very interested to find out who I was. He asked me at one stage what I was afraid of, which I thought was very interesting.
That is an interesting question from him. Alright, is one you two gonna kick us off here?
No, this is your thing.
I thought I was here to learn how to do this thing.
And what better way to learn than to do and get corrected?
Oh, okay then. Well, shit. Alright. Look at us both out here learning, Delphine. This is gonna go great.
How exciting.
Yeah, I'll only take your badge if you fuck up.
Oh.
Excellent. I don't have one yet, so it should be fine.
Yeah, speak for yourself. Speaking of, do I go get her a badge, or do you have some in your pockets there already shiny and
I'm not
good to
here.
go? You're not, okay, you're not here. Alright, I love that my mind creates such imagery as Dumont. Anyway, well, Delphine Stannard, welcome to the U.S. Marshal Service.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
First off, here is a copy of our SOPs. You're going to want to read over that later on. Give me 1 second.
All right.
Yeah, okay, so I was thoroughly unprepared for this shit, chat. I was expecting I would get to, like, you know, I don't know, watch them train someone one time, and then I'd get to do the training next time. But hey, let's do this thing. Yeah. Yep, they fucking did. Alright, I'm gonna grab 2 badges. The best way to learn is to teach. I'm gonna grab a bunch of gum. And for me, I'm also gonna grab some of this. Because I'm gonna need that. Okay. Here we go. Yeah. Yep, they both just sent me the link to training week 1. Alright. getting my thoughts in order, because I was not expecting this, as you now know. But anyway,
First time for everything.
first time I wasn't expecting something. You're right. You're right. Usually I'm well aware.
No, first time getting your thoughts in order.
That too. Yeah. Well, the U.S. Marshal Service, as you probably already figured out, is the highest form of law enforcement we got here in these 5 states. Our motto being justice, integrity, and service. You are going to be a probationary deputy marshal initially, which, Jesus Christ, those guys behind me make me nervous. Which essentially, as Valentine mentioned earlier, is a 4-week period during which you will be taught once a week. You will have a ride-along with, well, I guess myself, and whoever else wants to join us, going over that week's list of lessons, essentially. Week 1, we're here at the fort because we are going to start off with a tour of the fort. But to get the ball rolling on that, here is, and I believe I get to do this right now, here is your first marshal badge.
Thank you.
We may as well show you where those badges come from. We keep a nice store of all the weapons, badges, and standard ammunition you would need right there behind that door, which you should now have a key to. Why don't you go on and try it out?
Let me see. First time's the charm, right?
I'm sure.
It worked. I lied to you, Valentine.
Alright.
It didn't take me that long to find which key was on the chain.
Right? So,
Wonderful.
over there in that storage locker, you will find badges. And also, your cocaine gum, which I recommend you keep at least a few pieces on you at all times, just in case you run into some kind of situation where you need just a little bit more energy to get the job done.
Right. Okay.
It ain't gonna make it hurt any less once the cocaine gum wears off. But all the bullets will fucking hurt like hell that may have hit you during that time, but it'll give you just a little bit more resilience.
I will take a bit more repeat ammo while I'm here. Find it
Indeed,
very hard to find in the States.
you are welcome to any loadout from in this cabinet. However, bear in mind this is all property of the United States government, so you will be immediately dismissed if we catch you selling this to any of the local markets or giving it away to anybody.
Good to know.
But in terms of the equipment you will need for getting the job done, make sure you've got yourself a sidearm, a long arm, a knife, and also a lantern.
That is one thing I do not have, so let me grab one of those as well. Wonderful. Sufficiently kitted out.
Fantastic. Alright. Make sure you lock that door behind us.
Wonderful.
So, and continuing on, up here we have the boss's office. There is also a telegram station up here. And and the barracks. So, if the boss ain't here and you find yourself in need of the telegrams, they're just here.
I see.
Occasional. On occasion, you will find yourself called in here to discuss important matters with the boss.
I see. A quick question about the tip line: is that all over, or will I only be pointed towards tips for Lemoyne?
You will receive any tips within federal jurisdiction that come in.
I see.
As they come in. So keep an eye on that. Also, often pertinent to note in any cases you create a file for, which we'll go over once we get to the filing cabinets down there. Sometimes it helps to make a note of where the tip came in, where the tip line said to go when you're looking at creating a chain of evidence for what crimes were committed where and when.
Good to know.
Now, that only is going to also be... You won't find that stacks up with tips when you ain't available to check him. It's only going to be tips that are coming in. But any tips that do come in while you're on duty will be kept a record of there. So you can always revisit those locations and check where they happened at later on if you need to find where it was and go back to it.
Wonderful.
Alright, moving on to the next important building here. Again, don't forget to lock the door after you.
Let everyone come out first. Lest I lock him onto his own office.
Ty would know, indeed. Dumont does have keys, so if you do lock him in, he can always get himself out. This little tent here is the infirmary. If you find word of any injured marshals, or if we have any bodies that we need to bring here for a coroner to come and collect, that's where you'll drop them off.
Good to know.
And here is all our records. If you have a look at your law clipboard here, there you go. You can see records. Records, bounties, and case files. Obviously, we only keep full copies of things filed at the fort, here at the fort. But we can always get at least the headlines of what people have in other offices, so we know where to go looking for those files and that information.
Right.
But you can also take a glance there at who has bounties, where they've got their bounties at, who is
And I'm
currently looking at pending charges.
And I'm assuming that these records that are marked old records do not use are either people that have died, or are they just flips in the system?
They are for folk that have had some issues with their government identification in the past. People associating records to the wrong passport numbers and whatnot, so we couldn't
I see.
get local law bounty boards and things to keep track of them properly, but hopefully most of those have been fixed for now. But if you do find yourself in a situation where something ain't working right, don't hesitate to reach out to myself or the other bosses. Try and get that fixed up.
Right, good to know.
Now, as Valentine mentioned back at SDPD, as a probationary deputy marshal, you have certain restrictions on your ability to enforce the law. You are not to go chasing after wanted fugitives on federal warrants. However, you are allowed to act on bounties posted by local law enforcement or on the Saint Denis Bulletin Board, Saint Denis Bounty Board. You cannot go chasing after suspects unless you witnessed a crime yourself with your own eyes. If someone comes up to you and says they were robbed, all you can do is take their details and pass it on to one of us to make a case for and interview the suspect properly. But if you witness somebody picking somebody's pocket, getting into a gunfight, anything like that, then you are authorized to identify yourself and intervene.
Okay. I have a feeling if it's going to be anyone, it's probably going to be Richard.
Yeah, high chance of that. Or Henry Todd Calloway. He's the other frequent annoyer of the Lemoyne jurisdiction, especially.
Good to know.
You won't often encounter active issues with the coyotes in Lemoyne, though ever so often we do. Oh, does one of you want to grab Posey and bring her in for the rest of this, or just let her guess at what we're doing?
I mean, again, I'm not here. This is your thing, so.
Okay. Hey, Valentine, could you grab Posey ask if she wants to join us for the remainder of this little day 1, week 1 training? If you have any questions as we go, don't hesitate. I don't mind being interrupted. It helps me to gather my thoughts if I have occasion to deviate from what we're currently talking about. But, assuming you don't yet have any questions, other than what the hell is he talking about?
I think most of it's pretty straightforward so far, but I'll let you know.
Mm-hmm.
The only one so far was the tip line, but
Yeah.
that was
Oh, good
explained quite well,
question. So, you are being hired as a deputy marshal in Lemoyne. However, you are a United States deputy marshal first and foremost, which means anywhere within the United States, if you see a crime occurring, you are authorized to intervene. However, when it comes to investigations and taking on casework, all of those will occur within the Lemoyne jurisdiction and will be assigned by myself or by Special Deputy Marshal Valentine. Within our lovely state of Lemoyne, we have also one local law office, that is Sheriff Beckett Boone in Lemoyne in Rhodes. So we work
I
quite...
remember
Yes.
him being mentioned. I was going to say, I feel like you have quite a close working relationship with Rhodes.
Yes, exactly. That's what I was going to say. We work very closely with them, especially as there is quite a lot of crossover. People coming and going between Saint Denis and Rhodes. Crimes happening on the edges of both our jurisdictions. Crimes starting in one and crossing into the other. Cases such as the serial killer, the orphan, that we currently have in Lemoyne, causing problems. While one of those bodies was within our jurisdiction, arrest had been in Rhodes' jurisdiction, so we actually decided to collaborate with them and let them handle all of the case in regards to that killer, and especially seeing as a person can only serve a life sentence for the crimes once. But feel free to ask them for help, and they may in return be asking you for help from time to time if they have dangerous fugitives to bring in, and vice versa.
Of course. And I suppose that if they were to ask me for help, and I was to join a posse with them to go look for some sort of, I don't know, some sort of vicious criminal
Mm-hmm.
in the Rhodes jurisdiction, that if I was joining a posse with them, that they would still be in the lead of it, and I would just be there as support. Or as the ranking figure, do you immediately take over?
No, you don't immediately take over. If you are with them in a posse, because they have asked you to help them apprehend a fugitive, it is their arrest to make. It is their crimes to prosecute.
Right. And I assume that sort of by default, we sort of let them lead that and let them do what they want. We're sort of just there as a support system.
Exactly.
Okay, wonderful.
Just like any other citizen with a gun, but one with a little more training and a little more authority to act on their own, rather than having to wait to be necessarily deputized by them.
Right.
Now, if you find a fugitive on their bounty board, or you recruit their help to help you bring in a fugitive, and that fugitive has a federal warrant, that federal warrant, if it is your posse, always takes precedent. We do not go chasing after federally wanted fugitives and then hand them over to local law for their charges in the event that it wasn't local law asking you for help in the first place, if that makes sense.
Right.
Federal warrants take priority.
Does that ever
For
cause
us.
upsets?
Generally speaking, I like to lay that out beforehand, depending on what we're doing. I know some previous sheriffs have got frustrated where marshals have come to take a fugitive just out from under their nose, so to speak. But if they're already under arrest, or if they are within, say, local law jurisdiction and local law are actively searching for that suspect, I would generally prefer to let local law finish their business, and then we've always got the next time to come and catch them up for our warrants.
Right, okay. So as long as you're within their jurisdiction or helping them something for the town, sort of just let them do their thing.
Yeah. I can always check when they plan to release the suspect and make sure you're not far away when that happens.
I see.
Well, it depends on what they're wanted for as well. Doesn't hurt to ask politely if, you know, you're chasing after someone wanted for first-degree murder looking at a life sentence and they're picking them for pickpocketing.
Right, of course.
But that's just a conversation. You don't have authority to step in and say, I'm taking this suspect instead, if it's already under arrest. As far as I'm aware, correct me if I'm wrong, bosses, either or.
Could not step in to sort of say, I'm taking this over, but I could have a conversation and say, listen, this federal warrant is a little more pressing than a pickpocketing charge as opposed to first-degree murder or vice versa.
I would say so.
Along those lines.
I would agree.
So if they agree to that, then of course you can go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Right, okay. But if they were to disagree with that and just take them on the pickpocketing charge, you couldn't really fight them and just let them do their thing.
I don't believe so.
Okay.
And nobody's correcting me, so I'm gonna go with that's correct. Okay, so that's our jurisdiction and where we operate. Now, sorry, I'm just looking at my list of things. We got a lot of things to go over today.
That's right.
Oh, in the event that you do anything that is contrary to your SOP or legitimately against the law, then we have what we call the Office of Professional Responsibility, where they will gather and discuss the seriousness of your infractions, whether suspension, firing,
Excuse me,
arrest, whatever is appropriate.
Oh,
Good viewing spot out the window.
Yeah.
huh.
Keep an eye on those fellas out there, boss. I don't trust that one in the hat. In the brown. Looks kind of like the guy that shot at me that time. I think they might be related. You don't happen to have any medical licenses to operate within these 5 states, do you? Within the United States, do you, Delphine?
No, unfortunately, all of my medical knowledge is restrained to horses.
That's fine. That's absolutely fine. Just we have certain expectations. Some of us are medically trained and occasionally called upon to help with injured people, but we are always marshals first.
Right.
You know, we don't go running off to tend to someone's boo-boos when we've got serious situations unfolding. Such as, you know, wanted fugitives to catch. As we were talking about local law, jurisdiction, our jurisdiction, essentially, we talked about policies as well. So inside this sheriff's jurisdiction, that policy is led by the sheriff or under sheriff. However, as a marshal, you can also rustle up a posse to go after wanted fugitives. As the leader of that posse, you are in charge. You are responsible for the... Did he just jump? He jumped out the window. That's how bad my speech is right now.
It really is that bad.
It is. I'm pleased you just jumped out the window, not off the roof.
I was thinking about
Fair. So, we don't generally try and ride around in big groups of marshals with, you know, dozens of badges here and there. It isn't necessary most of the time to do the job, and it just means if we're all in one place, then a whole bunch of us not being in other places means bad things can be happening.
Right.
But when we do know that there's a bunch of miscreants, like a bunch of coyotes out there, riding around in a large group, we form posses. And when you are the one that's decided that there's a warrant of yours that you want to go after, or they've recently committed a crime in your state that you've witnessed and you're trying to track him down and catch up to him, you can form a posse yourself, or you could be asked to be in a posse with somebody else. However, whoever has formed that posse is in charge and responsible for the actions of everybody within that posse. Ideally, you want to look at hustling up marshals around you first, then turn into local law. However, if there's a dangerous fugitive and you know a civilian nearby that's good with a gun and you can trust to have your back in a difficult situation, you can deputize them as well. In your SOP there, it goes into more detail about the crime scene hierarchy and all those kind of things. We'll cover all that over. And in some circumstances, some of the leadership of a state may, like an SDM or an ASDM, may step in to take over. But generally speaking, if it's your posse, just 'cause Dumont joins it, you're still in charge of it. Unless he says otherwise, 'cause something's gone wrong or some imminent danger that you haven't noticed is coming straight at you. We already talked about your uniform, your equipment, but we didn't talk about your uniform. Hats are a must, unfortunately, for Posey here. She hates them.
That's
You
fine.
That's true.
also need to make sure you have a formal uniform, which is a black suit with a white, black, or recently updated to include dark gray shirts as well. Is that correct?
That
I
is
don't know what to
correct.
say. Is it written down?
It ain't in my copy yet, so maybe not. Alright, black suits, white shirts, or black shirts. Until told otherwise.
Shouldn't be too hard.
It's shockingly hard.
It's
It's really
you'd be
not
surprised
that
how
hard.
difficult it is for some people.
I've lived in a uniform for almost 20 years. It's really not a bother.
Yeah. Otherwise, day to day, wear what you like. We just want it to be clean clothing. We want it to be, you know, not filthy. We want to make sure you got that badge visible at all times and make sure you've got your hat on.
Unless you're inside.
Yeah,
You take it off inside.
inside.
Naturally.
Or if you lose it, you get the chance to take your time to find a new one.
No.
Not take your time, but when you have the next opportunity to get a new hat, get a new hat.
Again, no. It's when you have the next opportunity if you're in the middle of a arrest. If you just happen to fall off your horse and lose your hat, I expect you to go and get one then.
I always keep a spare on me anyway, so.
Yeah, always have a hat. You never know when Richard Garland's going to try and shoot it off your head. And as I said when we were getting your gear, your equipment cannot be distributed to anyone else that isn't wearing a badge of the U.S. Marshal Service.
But if another marshal asks me to go to the fort and pick something up for them because they're feeling
That's
particularly
fine.
lazy.
Or if
Okay.
you're in the field and they're like, I need a gun, you can give them a revolver or whatever.
Or ammunition, or if you have cocaine gum on you.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Now, obviously a big issue for the Marshal Service is the use of force. It's going to be in your SOPs, but just generally speaking, use whatever force is required to subdue and detain the individuals, but make sure that, you know, you're only using what is required. You're
Okay,
not
I'm gonna
using
step
except-
in.
Okay.
Use of force is a different week.
Is it? Oh, sorry, I'm
Yeah,
getting lost.
general information is just a general gloss over of the
Okay.
SOP. It's not going to in
Not
depth.
detail.
She's
Understood.
expected to read them for your next one. We're more so wanting to go over
Fantastic.
general information, and then when we can bring people to the fore.
That was
exhibits.
next.
I got.
Yeah, well, okay, please don't start. All right.
Most likely going to. We shall see.
I'm just gonna stand a little more ready. So, when you arrest somebody, generally speaking, you are gonna take them to Sisika. Or
Oh,
occasionally.
here comes the fun part.
Yeah.
Is this where we all keep our fingers crossed the soldiers don't do anything stupid?
Yeah, pretty much.
No, they're going to.
They might be
but-
about to, but so far so good. I'm just keeping an eye on this fella hiding behind the door here.
There we go. Another great option, if you feel hiding is always a good option.
Yeah, honestly, it doesn't. Don't be afraid to hide. in the
Don't be
corner.
afraid to hide.
Shut
Don't
the
be
door.
afraid to hide. Don't be afraid to shut and lock the doors.
Mm-hmm.
The fella that pokes the fire in the other office,
He's so angry
he's a
all the time.
bitch.
You
I
get
see.
too close
He's
to
a
him,
piece of
checking your
shit.
telegrams. He's gonna pick up that poker and try and smack you in the back of the head with it, and then shoot you.
So he's the one I have to look out for the most.
Generally speaking, he starts the most fights, I like to think.
Right. I know that when I came here just before my interview the other week, before I got here, I rode up to the doors and immediately heard a fight break out.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the first thing I asked him onto my way in.
Okay.
And I did it without setting them off.
Well done, boss. We were worried. So, as we were saying, when you arrest somebody, you have to, generally speaking, take them to Sissica if their sentence is more than 30 days. However, under certain circumstances, you can bring them to the fort right here. There is a cell. There are also the cells at SDPD and the cells at Fort Mercer for some prisoners. However, you gotta have a really good reason as to why they are being brought to a fort instead of to Sissica.
What would classify as a really good reason?
Injury doesn't generally classify as a really good reason. They do have a doctor over on Sissica, and he's, although terrifying, he is legally licensed to practice medicine and treat injuries. However, you may find on occasion that some crimes have warranted negotiation for a surrender, which can land somebody here in the fort for a certain period of time. Generally speaking, anything like that needs to be authorized by one of us leaders, or Dumont and Crenshaw.
I
If it-
assume that means pre-authorized
Yeah.
as well. Okay.
Some of us, obviously, if we are leadership, we can make the call in the moment if it seems suitable, but
I think I've only asked once to have somebody held at the fort, and it was due to injury, and she was kept here.
Usually I don't say no.
Yeah.
Usually.
Well, we don't often ask you for stupid reasons, I think.
that size says otherwise.
Well, we ask him stupid things. Mostly for fun.
Have you ever thought about how much fun it is for me having to answer the stupid questions y'all ask?
What would you do without us, boss? What would you do without us?
He'd be bored, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Be
Suppose he'd be-
a whole lot happier and less stress.
You'd have less gray hair.
Think about all the hiring that you'd have to do, though.
No,
And
that
all the
DC desk
retraining.
job is starting to look better and better.
Fair.
Boss, you would get so bored behind a desk.
No, I'd probably end up killing somebody and then I'd be in jail.
That's the truth.
Oh, also at both the forts and at SDPD, as you can see behind me in this cupboard, we have storage. That is where you can put confiscated weapons and such from prisoners that you intend to return or that they may ask you to return. We do not return weapons that have been used in the commission of a crime, and we never return ammunition.
Right.
So if you're chasing Richard Garland and he pulls out his repeater and he starts shooting at you, and then he runs a little further away and he finds himself in close quarters and he pulls his revolver and he starts shooting at you, you confiscate both weapons permanently. You can bring him here to the fort, dispose of them in the armory, but you can return his hunting knife and his lasso. In fact, he frequently asks for those. He came to the SDPD the other day and said he had like 4 knives and 3 lassos to collect.
I was going to say, this sounds like something you're reciting from experience, so...
Yeah, that one is classic Richard Garland, honestly.
Boss, question. Dynamite we can return to people, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay, can or should?
Oh, I didn't actually give somebody dynamite. Somebody lied to me and said they had, she was just kidding
Okay,
that I'd taken dynamite. I knew I hadn't.
right.
But then it got me thinking about, shit, if I took dynamite off her, should I give it back to her?
That's fair.
But yes, because she could be doing other stuff with it, like demolitions, mining, and such.
All right, and I believe Valentine handed you a pair of handcuff keys along with some handcuffs there. So when we find occasion that we are arresting somebody,
Handcuff
first,
Tyrell.
no, I'm a teacher. You're the suspect in this example.
Ooh, handcuff me.
All right.
Okay, so
I find it's best that you should actually handcuff your teacher just so they understand.
I think it's good for you, honestly.
yeah, but Posey's so looking forward to it.
Yeah, well.
I get handcuffs all the
Langston will
time.
She lives with Langston.
Fair enough.
Hang on, let me put my badge on and make it really official.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
so put your badge on.
More rules.
Oh, well.
And you'll
Swear I
find your
decimated the
handcuffs and
competition by now.
all your
Right.
other procedural stuff in the same pocket as your identification and all that kind of stuff. So, Posey here committed some heinous crime.
All right,
There you
Posey, would you
go.
like to turn around for me, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
There you go. So you can put those
If you
on
said
her.
no, you could have gotten and used force then.
I
Yeah.
was going to say.
Yeah, but
There we go.
And now, well, nope, put those handcuffs back on. While we're here, we may as well teach you how to pat down a prisoner. Once you got those handcuffs
Alright.
on, you want to make sure you check them for any
Bear with me, Posey.
weapons, sharp objects, screwdrivers, lockpicks.
the eye is mine. It's illegal.
Dynamite.
I was going to say, you don't have anything in here that's going to make me very uncomfortable, do you?
Just the eye.
Maybe a love note from Langston.
So,
No, he
Where
draws
do
me
you-
pictures.
where do
No
you get an eye?
dilators.
I took it out of a body.
Let me take
hell
these
is
off.
Well,
going
no,
on
it
out
fell
there?
out of a body, and I picked it up.
Did it?
hmm
Okay, there we go.
Now, if she
Let's
has
get
any,
take this off for you while there's
storage-
shooting happening.
if she has any storage boxes or anything like that as well in the future, you need to search through those as well. I have known people that have storage boxes entirely full of knives.
hmm
So when we are
Good to
arresting
know.
people, we confiscate anything that could be used as a weapon, and that's kind of up to your judgment in the time, depending on who you're arresting. So,
So
for
what
example,
I do is I
Richard
take the
Darwin-
storage box and then return it.
Okay.
That's an
alright.
option. That's an
So what I'm
option.
hearing is keep my pockets quite empty.
Mine
Yeah,
are always super full.
it's awkward.
Could you stand behind me for cover?
Yeah, it
Just
looked
a little
kinda
bit, I'll be
like it.
honest.
Okay. So when
Oh,
we're
it's okay.
arresting
back.
people, we're informing them of their charges, placing them under arrest. If they resist, then we're using force. If they don't resist, then we're putting the handcuffs on them, searching them. If we're somewhere where it's possible, we will often pull out or I ask to borrow a prison transport wagon. If we're in the local law jurisdiction, they'll often let us borrow one of theirs. Otherwise, we can get them here at the fort. They have wagons available for transporting prisoners. But if it isn't possible, once you've searched them, got them in handcuffs, etc., get them on the back of a marshal's horse and head toward the nearest infirmary if needed, otherwise nearest cells, and then on to Sisika. Or straight to Sisika, depending on what's warranted. Once you've arrested...
Is it better?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is it better to get them to the closest cells, or is it better to get them, sort of to SDPD if that's a possibility, if you think you can make it that far? Or is it more just...
I would get them to
their cell?
SDPD if you can get them to SDPD. However, sometimes when the situation calls for it, say you've encountered a gang, there's been a shootout, but some of them have gotten away and you've only managed to pick up one of their members. There's only one of you, your colleague might be hurt. Get to the nearest cell. Get them locked away. Use the local law telegrams if you need to. Try and rustle up some reinforcements and then figure out your next steps.
Right.
However, if it's someone that's turned themselves in or it's been a clean arrest, go straight to Siska. Sometimes, heck, unless you got a lot of math to do, trying to figure out the charges, you don't even need to stop at SDPD, to be honest with you.
I prefer not to stop at SDPD.
Yeah.
Typically because I am alone, and stopping at SDPD gives their reinforcements time to catch up to me.
Mm-hmm. I also recommend do not stop and allow them to use telegrams until you get to Sisika. There is a telegram station on Sisika that if they are really nice and well behaved, you can unlock the door and let them use.
Right.
Or occasionally the one at Saint Denis just before you get on the boat is a viable option, because otherwise they got time to let their people know where you're going and how you're getting there.
Of course. So whatever I do, don't believe the sweet lies that they try to tell me.
Correct.
Never ever believe the sweet lies.
And I love believing the sweet lies of criminals.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it's not a good idea.
Fair enough.
Now, the other thing that will come up is having arrested somebody, unless their warrant says they are not allowed to have PTR offered to them, you must offer the prisoner pretrial release. That is the opportunity for them to plead not guilty and fight their charges in court. In the event they want pretrial release, which there's more information about in your SOPs, you are to jail them for 15 days. They do not pay any fines. You get their ID, you get their mugshot, and then they are to make themselves available at a court hearing or face further charges, including an escaping custody charge, if they do not appear in court in a suitable time or they commit any other crimes while on PTR. Most of the cases you investigate will be assigned by myself or Valentine and be within the Lemoyne jurisdiction. We do also have files here, though, up at the fort for cases that the boss here assigns, which generally speaking is when a gang of outlaws has crossed multiple state lines committing crimes of a serious violent nature. Those cases can be assigned depending on where the most states crimes have occurred. They may assign the lead investigator to a particular state, or it may be that you are assigned secondary as the Lemoyne liaison, for example, on a chief's case. However, if you are not the secondary on the case or the primary on the case, you do not go and investigate other people's work.
Right.
If you have information that is pertinent to a case, you can bring it to the marshal that you know is in charge of that case. And if anyone comes to you with information regarding a case, you are to direct them to the marshal in charge of that case, rather than just taking it on yourself. Simply because you just never know when you don't know relevant information to a case. They may bring you something when actually you needed to ask more questions or verify more sources, so you taking that on behalf of another marshal doesn't help.
Right. So how does that work in terms of the tip line? So say you get a tip and it's on the opposite side of the state. Is that something that you would go and have a look at and then sort of take any preliminary evidence or photographs of what you find and then pass it on to the next available person? Or would you just leave it in general?
Nope, go and look. You never know when you will come across a crime actively being committed in that example.
Right.
But also, you don't... If a local law or the state law in that jurisdiction wasn't around to receive the tip, they may not know that crime has occurred, so you make a note of it, you document what you see, and you telegram the ASDM of that state, let them know what you had come across or what crime has occurred in their state, and offer them the location and any notes you took at the time if they'd like it.
Right. This fort is exceptionally lively.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't recommend sleeping here.
No,
Yeah, the noises
I
at
expected
night.
the rambunctious soldiers. I did not expect the rams falling off the roof.
There's other kind of
Nothing to do with
rammings,
the
too.
soldiers. Yep. Nothing to do with any of that. Right, boss? Sorry, boss.
Okay. Now, as you saw before when we were looking over the case files, the records, the bounties, etc., you'll pick up pretty quick how to title your cases once you start making them. But if ever you pick yourself up a fugitive, before you go and finalize how long you're locking them up for, just make sure you have a look at their record and check that they don't have any pending PTR cases or anything like that that would increase the charges, as well as making sure you've checked all the warrants for any extra warrants they may have. Some of these coyotes have about 5 active warrants at the moment, so if you just know they've got one and you only pick them up for the first one, you're just gonna have to go and get them again.
I see.
And they
And I-
really hate that.
I assume that when people are arrested, you can sort of pile on as many warrants as there is.
All of them. All the warrants should be charged, and any outstanding bounties in places like Saint-Denis.
Okay.
If-
But not any other local jurisdiction
No.
bounties.
Only Saint-Denis bounties are federal.
Right, okay.
So if you're going through Saint-Denis, taking someone to Sisika, check if they got a local bounty in Saint-Denis, prosecute them for that as well, and make sure about PTR, whether they've got any escape and custody charges pending on top of everything else. Which is why it's so important to keep your records tidy and up to date. Because if you arrest someone today, you put them away for PTR, but you don't get to writing up the file, and someone else arrests them tomorrow, they won't know they're on PTR. Same goes
Right,
for
of
serving
course.
warrants. Make sure as soon as that warrant is served, you're making a note that it's been served. You're noting when and for how long they've been locked up for. Because otherwise, if they get out, and someone else comes across them tomorrow morning having had a rough few days in jail, but you didn't note that they've served their warrant, they could get arrested again and locked up for the same thing twice, and then have a court case on the hands where the state ends up having to pay out a lot of money.
No one needs that.
All right. I think I've gone everything in my list, pretty much. Your job
Yeah, you
is
did.
to... Alright, that's praise. I'll take that. Your job is to go over all the federal laws, make sure you're familiar with the laws of these United States, make sure you read over the SOP multiple times,
Oh, that deer's
But-
gonna catch on fire.
go through it at your own pace, but
That'll be dinner.
spend the week reading it.
Right. Looks like I've got my evening reading set for me.
Don't forget to assign her homework.
Do a fun one. A fun one.
I have never seen anything like what I'm seeing out there right now.
It's incredible, isn't it? That's wildlife. That is
Certainly something.
That's living in.
New Hanover. I fucking love New Hanover. Oh, here they go.
Okay.
Oh, there's that one too. Let them do their thing. We don't get involved yet.
Yeah.
It's all coming here.
Thing are they doing? That's the question.
Are you done? I didn't.
If they don't look at us, we don't look at them.
I do believe that done.
I can't believe you got that jumpy over a damn deer.
I don't even
Anyway,
know. I
give her
wasn't
homework.
looking. Okay. Feel like I should give her the homework counter to the homework that Hans always gives his PDMs.
Sure, I don't care. That's fine.
Your homework is to, without him knowing, investigate Hans Trimmel.
Ooh, I
Special
love
Deputy
that
Marshal
one.
Hans Trimmel. Want you to report back by this time next week. Anything you can on Special Deputy Marshal Hans Trimmel. The more interesting, the more juicy, the more marks you'll get.
I see. So
And that's
nothing in
mainly
particular,
because-
just about him in general.
Yeah. Anything you
Okay.
find that's suspicious gets you extra points.
Excellent.
Mainly because 90% of his most recent PDMs, he's assigned them to investigate me, I'm sure.
No, I was assigned to investigate Scarlet, actually, when I was a
Were you?
PDM, and I went on a date with her.
That's why you
How
went
did
on a
that go?
date with her. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he gave the job to Moss. I'm pretty sure he gave
Alright.
it to...
Now that everything's over, I'm going back to bed.
Okay, good night. That's our cue to leave before the noises start.
Noises.
They fuck very loudly.
Two.
That's your homework to figure out.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, you've kind of just given me the answer.
I think that she should investigate Langston.
I feel like
Which
that
one?
could be a
Not me,
risk
the
to
other one.
Langston's job.
No, I think that makes it better.
Maybe that can be week 2's homework.
Yeah, he's kind of a freak.
There's
Good
more
to know.
chance you're gonna find illegal things there too. He's your freak though, Posey. You chose that freak. Alright, you have your badge, you have your gum. You have authority to act upon any crimes you witness within these 5 states now.
I'm
Do you
mortified.
have any questions?
No, not particularly. But I can assume that I will probably be attached at the hip to someone else for the next few weeks. So I
Yeah.
don't particularly mind. So apologies in
Well-
advance if it becomes arduous.
No, absolutely not. That's fine. Whenever we're around, feel free to just tag along. I recommend riding around with as many marshals as you can. Vary it up as much as you can, because we all work differently. We've all got different ways of approaching the same situation.
Right.
Some of us bust into a room wanting to shoot everybody. Others sweet talk their way onto a poker table and then get 7 or 8 people to turn themselves in.
Suppose
Yeah,
some
we
of 'em
do.
Just ride their way into Thieves Landing and get exceptionally drunk.
Exactly. All in the name of important investigative work.
I'm a talker. Tyrell's a shooter.
I can also talk and drink, apparently.
He pretends.
I really don't like to drink. I'd much rather shoot. But also, people just don't like it when I talk. They just start shooting.
Yes, you say
Something
stupid bullshit.
About
was gonna say.
de-escalation, yada yada yada. I don't know. We'll cover that in like week 3 or something. Don't worry. I'll find someone that can teach it. Maybe Posey.
I am very good at de-escalation. Mostly because I really don't like getting shot.
Now, I can't imagine that I will either.
It's very painful. And I find it annoying to have other people perform any kind of medical intervention on me. I can't keep my hands out of it.
Are you medically trained yourself?
No, on purpose.
What do you mean by on purpose?
There was a time when I was going to receive medical training, but they decided against it. I am not to be doing medical unless you need somebody cauterized. Or I did some stitches recently that looked pretty okay. But don't tell my boss. I'm not supposed to be doing medical. Unless...
I see.
I'm one of the greatest minds of our generation.
You were just so high that you didn't see Richard Garland ride off on a bright white horse.
That's not against the rules.
In her defense, it was more Perlino, but
That's your defense? The horse wasn't white?
well, white and pink are 2 very distinct colours.
Okay.
That is true.
I see you 2 are gonna get along great. Speaking of which, Posey here is one of our head horse girls of the U.S. Marshal Service, so
I am the head horse girl of these 5 states.
you are also
That is my title.
allowed to have a marshal-issued horse.
Yes. I specialize in Mustangs. That's what we have here at the fort. But I
Have you ridden a Mustang
also...
before?
Really? Oh, I
No.
love a Mustang. Ooh, what have you ridden? What do you prefer? What's your style with horses?
My military issued partner was an Irish draft. He was very capable, and I miss him a lot. But
I
I
like
have
a
a lot
good
of
workhorse.
experience.
Mm-hmm.
As long as they're capable enough, a lot of warm bloods, a lot of thoroughbred crosses, a lot of ex-track thoroughbreds, a lot of ponies, fell ponies, forest ponies, new forest ponies, Connemara ponies.
Honestly, I
see.
think you'll do well on a Mustang. Mustang got a fat ass. What do I
know?
mean by that?
Nobody knows, Posey. Nobody knows.
I'm assuming
There
you mean
is
that they
a
are
way-
far more downhill than they are built uphill, but which will be quite different for me. But I'm used to very uphill horses. But
Yeah, they got a fat ass, so
Okay.
it's like, honestly, I find the ride comfortable. With Mustangs, I find lots of dependability, which is why they are the horse of choice of this fort. We also have Criollos down in New
Mhm.
Austin, but
You want to
if
talk
you're
to
looking for
Drummond about
Criollos,
Criollos?
talk to Drummond.
still not many
I
gated breeds
have
around here.
trained, Criollos. I could train a Criollo. I would rather train a Drummond Criollo
Hmm.
because they breed them themselves. Those are
I see.
damn good horses.
They may
But all of
feed them
these are
crack.
also,
That is yet to
they
be
do feed 'em
proven,
crack.
but we are suspicious.
they do feed them crack. They feed them something.
I think they
They're
sprinkle
feeding
it in the
cocaine
hay.
gum. Mm-hmm. Damn good horses.
I was gonna also
Drummonds
train
make good
Turkmens.
horses. I do. I train a damn good Turkmen. I train a good Cobb. I'm training a Breton right now. I'm enjoying it. I just trained a thoroughbred. Turned out real nice.
Mm-hmm.
What else have I trained? Many. Oh, Arabians. I'm real good with Arabians. If you're ever looking for something real turny.
All right.
Um,
I'm gonna let you all just talk horse girl
Mhm.
shit for as long as you like, because officially
City
that
horse
is
wise?
week 1 done. You are now a PDM in the U.S. Marshal Service.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Welcome to the team.
Cannot wait to see what the next few weeks bring. Will be interesting to say the least.
I should be around tomorrow. Happy to ride around with you and see if we can pick up some of these coyotes that we just issued several warrants for. Or probably Richard again, depending on whenever the fuck he's getting out.
How long did
I don't
he
think
get?
he's my best friend.
And maybe that asshole Henry Todd Calloway. He's a real jerk.
Oh God, he's gonna kill me next time he sees me.
You know, he had the audacity to turn himself into Rhodes peacefully so he could avoid being arrested by me. I was literally chasing him, and he walked up to Sheriff Boone and said, "Please arrest me, I surrender." It was one of the few times I was tempted to try and drag someone away from local law custody.
One time I chased him for, shit, I want to say 30 minutes. Choked him out twice.
Deserved, I'm sure.
Oh, he did. He definitely deserved it. I kept
Mhm.
tackling his ass. But that's one of my major issues, Delphine. I struggle to use my gun. It's something that I'm supposed to be getting better at.
Yeah.
Right. When you
I
say
will
struggle
almost-
to use your gun, do you mean you'd prefer not to use it if you don't have to, or you
Correct.
She'd
Okay.
rather not
So
shoot
it's not
someone
that
dead.
you don't know
she'd-
how to aim it very well.
No, I'm a good shot.
Your
Hey,
former best friend might disagree.
eh. Wait, which one?
You shot Clark.
Yeah, he's not my former best friend. He's still my best friend. He's just dead.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure how to describe
I did
that.
shoot him, and it was dead on too.
That's true. However, Posey would much rather use what she considers less than lethal means, however, somehow still winds up with dead people.
I tackle a lot.
How does that usually go for you?
Pretty okay. I fist fight.
Hey, maybe tomorrow we can get into a shootout or something. It's tradition. PDMs ride with me and we all end up shot at some point.
Oh, really?
I'll cauterize you if you need it.
I'm
But for
not
now,
sure.
I'm
But
glad-
I only do
previously
stitches on my
recall you-
husband.
I was going to say, I previously recall you saying that you're not allowed to do anything medical. Or
Yeah,
you're not
she's
supposed
not.
to do anything medical.
She's not. I'm a field medic though, so if you get into trouble, I can patch us both
I'm going
up.
to come to you instead.
Yeah. I'm gonna head down to my farm. I will see you all tomorrow probably. I
Alright.
need to get some rest. My face still stings where JY clipped me.
Ouch.
I'll be safe. Don't stick around here too long and cause trouble.
I am going to go have a look for some sugar.
3時半に来るの？ OK。もうすぐね。でも行くの楽しい。うん。うん。Yep. Alright, chat. I'm gonna wrap up early tonight, but we'll be on tomorrow. Got a full day tomorrow, I'm sure. Should be good fun. I hope you've all enjoyed my first efforts at training a PDM. Oh my god, thank you. I was like genuinely bricking it a little bit there because I was not expecting to be leading that. I genuinely thought I'd get to watch one, then do one. Thank you very much. I appreciate the vote of confidence. Because I was not feeling confident about that at all. Right, put away the horse. Run up to the house. Check there's no bodies on the scarecrow. Right? By the time we hire the 5th marshal, I'll actually be good at it. Oh, look at that. You want to work on the farm? Get in touch. Who created that gorgeousness? Whom indeed? My ass, it's invalid. It's not invalid. It's just typoed. There we go. Right? Slick, slick poster indeed. I know we're finishing a little early tonight. I'm just a little bit tired. So, I just... Quality over quantity, right? Something like that? So, I love you all. I will see you tomorrow. Be safe, be good to each other. Thank you so much for hanging out and watching me muck my way through that. I got some behind the scenes admin work to do as well, so we can properly make sure staff is hired. But anyway, I love you all. I will see you tomorrow. Good night.